check 1-2, radio check. Still. Run the bomb through the corner, lane up through the tile. Check up, Not sure why we did that, I don't know the plan. 88 was screaming everybody to get to the bottom. I think we should just run all out and wait till after the fourth pit. Get out of the gas, slow down. Somebody split up right in front of me.
Here comes that number 15 of Cameron Combs. Sculpture line, it's Kurt Sponsler will pick up stage win. Mr. Garland is leading the way, showing these drivers how to get it done. As the Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome, and as we get ready to rumble here this evening from the beautiful Bristol Motor Speedway as our second playoff race, our first elimination race here in the Outcast Racing League gets underway here this evening for what is going to be an absolutely amazing show, an absolutely amazing day of racing action here. We'll get ready to go through our starting grid, but first let's take a look here at our crew chief report here coming into this race. So located in beautiful Bristol, Tennessee, the track length, you see it right there, I believe about a half a mile speedway here, as pit road speed, very, very slow here, 30 miles an hour. You got to be checked up nicely here as lap 50, and lap 100 will be the completions of our stage breaks here this evening. Fuel distance, get around 100, so that kind of really sets things up between fuel and tires on what your strategy call is going to be, what you're planning on doing throughout this race. I feel we're going to see a lot of drivers try to stick with track position over potentially getting that fuel or getting that extra set of tires here. We'll have to wait and see late in this race to see what these drivers are able to do and what they're going to be trying to pull here to help their strategy and put them into a winning situation later this evening. There are a few penalties here this evening, so a few drivers unfortunately getting penalized from last week's racing events, as Nicholas Barton did get a 10-point penalty for no or late incident form submission. So that's a tough break there for him, and James Garland a drive-through at the initial start. So for James Garland having to make a pass-through penalty here, that is a big uh-oh right there. That is a tough one to kind of have a pass-through penalty here at Bristol. You can go a couple laps down in a quick hurry, and if you continue to fall back, it could be very tough to try to get yourself back into the action. As we'll get them all ready to rumble, ready to roll here. You see that driver starting in that pole position. It is the RT3 Design LLC number 6 machine of Rob Tuisku. Tuisku will start in the pole position with the Overtons number 76 of Caleb McKinney starting there in second. Edward Belair, Tyler Humphrey in third and fourth, with Kurt Sponsler in that Krafts and Stuff LLC number 49 ride starting there in that fifth position, as this is the Krafts and Stuff 200 here this evening. Great to see that car out there on the racetrack looking pretty here for our sponsors as he was outside his teammate in the Elite Sim Racing number 3 machine. It's Al Reed starting there in 6. Starting in the 7th spot, that is Corey Crowell. To his outside, the 12 ride is Josh Bromfield. Starting in position number 9, it's another Krafts and Stuff LLC number 60 machine. That is Johnny Thunders, who will start there in 9th. To his outside will be the 81, the Poor Boy Motorsports machine of Anthony Garland. Then we do see Wayne Garland in Chris Muise, the 37 of James Garland, Billy Jordan, Devin Black in the 5 of Brandon Puffenbarger, back in row number 8 with Darrell Whitford, Grant Humphrey, Cameron Combs, and Chad Lancaster rounding out our top 20. Gary Wright's back there, Mike Killingbeck's back there, Casey Gross looks like he's got to start down pit side, and Joshua Benton not out there either. Looks like he may also have to start from pit road here this evening. As we'll get them all ready to rumble, ready to go to battle. The green flag is in the air for the first time here this evening as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation. As a beautiful night for racing here on Peacemaker Gaming, and with the Krafts and Stuff LLC 200. Early on, it is the 76 of Caleb McKinney who will lead lap number 1 here this evening. Now, you can already tell just by that opening lap how quickly things move here at Bristol. 200 laps is a quick time. They can burn through 200 laps in a quick hurry here at Bristol Motor Speedway. So watch these laps continue to get clicked off. Watch these drivers continuing to just try to keep themselves on the lead lap and in the fight here this evening. As Caleb McKinney out in front, he's already got a little lap traffic right there in front of him. As Casey Gross, who had to start from pit road, just got out of the pits in time to keep himself on the lead lap, but he's got our race leaders right there behind him. And for James Garland serving that penalty, he's down pit road. He's already a lap down, and there is a caution flag. Yellow flag will be displayed as we see the yield max number 21 of Darrell Whitford. I do believe that is the number 2 of Corey Crowell, also tied up in this one. So a playoff driver getting collected here. Early damage and contact for Corey Crowell is right there, just loses the rear end, goes around. Oh, Johnny Thunder's in there as well. Here's the 21, slides into him. Couple drivers getting some damage there. Some tore up race cars here early on this evening as Corey Crowell just going to send it in through the middle and just loses that rear end right here. Just going to step out and around on them, and all of a sudden Johnny Thunder is nowhere to go. Billy Jordan, he's right there in the middle of it, pushing the 60 right in there even farther. You see Wayne Garland's going to get some damage out of it. Brandon Puffenbarger doing a great job to avoid him, but unfortunately for the 21, he tried to get checked up, trying to slide down and out of the way. Unfortunately, all that carnage was moving right down in front of him. And for the 21 right, heavy contact into the 2 machine of Corey Crowell. And early on, you tore up race cars here, man. That is a tough spot to be, as we do see a few drivers elected to come down pit road. Obviously, some looking for some repairs, as you do see Billy Jordan down there. Here comes Wayne Garland. Brandon Puffenbarger also coming down pit side. So a lot of drivers obviously trying to get some early repairs, trying to get their cars fixed up and back into this battle, as Caleb McKinney, he didn't really want to see that caution flag. He was about to put that 77 of Casey Gross a lap down. And when we talk about how tight things are, especially between the points and everything else, it's going to be fun to see who's going to be able to put themselves into a position to potentially work their way into the championship contention here this season. As we can get this a little smaller, and we'll bring this up here. All right, so taking a look here at our point standings right now, this is the way they sit. So the bottom 4 drivers will unfortunately be eliminated from the point standings. Now, for Killingbeck, he's quite a ways back there. I'm not even sure if we see him Killingbeck in this race. But you look at that red line there, the cut line. You look at the drivers that are just above it, the drivers that are just below it. You look at Lancaster. You look at Muise. You look at Johnny Thunders. They're, within 7 points of potentially tying that 12th place driver. Obviously, they're going to need, if you're Thunders, you need, 8 points and hope that Garland doesn't get any, but Garland's here this evening, so he's probably going to earn a few points. So you got to kind of really get those bonus points through the stages. You got to try to work yourself forward here and try to put yourself into a position where you may be able to gain enough points, move yourself above that cut line, and advance yourself into our round of 12 here in these playoffs. Is down and out of corner number 4. Green flag back out into the air for the 76 of Caleb McKinney. McKinney gets that green flag once again, quickly back onto the loud pedal, hoping to try to open up that bit of a lead again, trying to give himself that little bit of breathing room between himself and what is now the number 6 ride, Rob Tuisku, who's battling hard here with Tyler Humphrey. D-Hump right there to his inside, the Isabel Impact. Must Love Poodles, Landesco ride rolling back there in that 3rd position. Got underneath of him, unfortunately just could not make that pass. So he'll stay settled there in 3rd as Rob Tuisku will stay in 2nd, as we do see another caution flag out there on the Speedway. Yellow flag back out here, looks like Wayne Garland. He's tied up and he's already taken that car down pit side, and for Billy Jordan also collected in this one again as well. So let's take a look back, see what happened. So it looks like Wayne and Billy, tight battle here. They're a little deeper in the field. Wayne gets a decent run down to the inside, just leaves that inside lane just a little bit, just pushes up the track after getting a piece of the apron, and unfortunately, it's that 14 ride sideways. They're going to make more contact right here with the flag stand. That is going to turn them both around, and that is where we will see the caution flag come back out as they both end up into the outside fence for the Dark Horse Motorsports. Number 84 taking it right down pit road, and for Billy Jordan, able to get a loop back around, trying to keep himself on the lead lap. Looks like he'll have to, looks like he's able to get there, so good piece of getting that thing back into gear. But at the same point in time, we also see the 25 right around. So Edward Belair running into issues here as well. There's contact between him and Devin Black. 25 ride sideways, sideways, sideways. And you see Casey Gross in there and the 99 of Chris Muise both end up with some pretty solid damage there in that one. Is again, just a little contact, that little bump and run down through the corner. And fortunately for Casey and Chris Muise, they both get tied up in it. Both end up with some pretty solid front end damage as caution flag will come back out. So another couple issues here, and for a few of these drivers, you know, early contact, early damage, definitely not a fun spot to be. So we'll have to keep an eye on how everyone's going to be able to maneuver, how they're going to be able to keep themselves out of trouble, and try to keep their cars in one piece to get to the end of this one. As Team Zipperlip says, yeehaw, yeehaw, brother, yeehaw is right. A little yeehaw here this evening as Anne Marie says, love you, James, have a good race. Cheering on James Garland here this evening. Now for James, not sure, he does have quite a bit of front end damage, so I'm not sure if iRacing will count him as a part of that yellow flag or not. As of right now, he is, I do believe, still the first car one lap down until the 2 ride, I think, of Corey Crowell may have just lost a lap right there. Crowell may have just went a lap down himself. Casey Gross on the lead lap here in the 77. Oh man, this may be a heartbreaker for the 2 rider, Corey Crowell. Already a lap down, still has quite a bit of damage here on that K-West Group number 2 ride. So he's just trying to survive to get to the end. I do believe Edward Belair also falling a lap down now. James Garland with that front end damage. He sits as the first car a lap down on the racetrack, but still needing another caution flag not to be in it to try to get himself another wave around and back onto the lead lap. As here we go, back to green flag racing. As the 76 of Caleb McKinney gets another good launch, another good restart. Here comes Tyler Humphrey looking down to the inside of that 6 machine. Knows he can't quite get there, so they'll get lined up and settled in here in position number 3. But here comes that beautiful number 3 machine, that beautiful Krafts and Stuff number 49 ride. As here comes Kurt Sponsler, here comes Al Reed. The Elite Sim Racing team looks like they've came here today to show up and show out right now. Tuisku sitting in second. Al Reed, Kurt Sponsler rounding out our top 5. And you look right behind them, it's Anthony Garland, and then their 4th teammate, the number 15 of Cameron Combs. So all 4 teammates up inside the top 7 as we do get the caution flag once again. So another caution flag out there on the speedway. Looks like Billy Jordan, and it looks like a pair of our lap down drivers getting collected here. Actually, look at Bromfield. Bromfield into the fence. I'm not sure if he gets a little helping hand. It looks like he might. So a little contact right there between him and Cameron Combs sends that poor boy Motorsports number 12 right up the racetrack. He's going to end up tanking the outside fence pretty solidly there. Right rear and right front, up and into the fence, and then that's going to stack everyone up back here behind them. Everyone's trying to figure out where they need to go. 25 trying to avoid that 12 ride, and they just get a little 3 wide there, and 25 just getting a little bent out of shape, bounces off the 37 of James Garland, down the racetrack into the 14 of Billy Jordan. Billy's just got a magnet on that 14 ride all evening long, as fortunately for Edward and the 14, they're both going to wash up the racetrack. You see Brandon Puffenbarger end up into the outside fence, and it's Corey Crowell who's going to get in here and get another piece of that 14 ride. So early on, Billy Jordan and Corey Crowell, man, have just not been able to catch a break out there on the speedway. And unfortunately for both those drivers, not sitting in a very good position now. And we do see Cameron Combs. Looks like he may go to the back of the pack here. It looks like he may take an EOL for potentially being the cause, or at least the start of that caution flag. So it looks like he's going to take his lashings here while it's still, early on in the evening. Take that 15 ride, put him to the back of the pack, and we'll have to get them all sacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing. So another restart here, and already we're clicking away these laps here. Even though we've had a few caution flags, the laps are clicking down in a quick hurry. 20 laps already completed. We're almost, halfway through our first stage of the day. And if you're one of our playoff drivers, man, to get up here, earn some stage points, put yourself into a position to take advantage of those stage points, could be the make or break on your season. So if you want to keep your season alive, if you want to be able to race in our round of 12 and continue your championship dreams here this evening, you got to try and get yourself a lot of these stage points. And right now, Caleb McKinney, Rob Tuisku, Tyler Humphrey, Al Reed, all in there, all looking to get some good stage points here this evening. You look back at Devin Black, Anthony Garland, some of our other playoff drivers. When you look back here at Mike Killingbeck, now into the 8th position. Grant Humphreys up there as well. So a lot of our playoff drivers right inside of the top 10 looking for stage points, or just on the outside looking in. We'll have to wait and see who can snag some here in our first stage of the day as we do go back to green flag racing. There's a little contact though. Look out, Tyler Humphrey sideways on the speedway. Caution flag is back out. Caution flag is back out. They're still wrecking down the back straightaway as Tyler Humphrey, looks like things got started between him and the 6th ride of Rob Tuisku, and unfortunately it looks like Tuisku may have gotten tied up in this as well. So let's take a look right here. So they're trying to get a good launch, good jump here, and for the 6th ride, he does get a pretty solid launch on this restart. Tries to jump down in front of the 9 ride of Tyler Humphrey. Humphrey just crowded down there, has nowhere else to go. The 6 wasn't really clear, kind of comes down right here. See if we can get another angle at this. This is where things kind of got started, where things kind of got a little bit crazy between the two of them. So let's see if we can get another angle here. So if you watch Tyler Humphrey here, he's really just got nowhere to go. Tires are already down on the yellow line, if not even farther below. The only thing he could have really done was to roll out of the throttle, and I think that's what Tuisku was hoping he would do, was to, roll out of it. But, yeah, just that little bit of contact. He's obviously trying to get onto the binders, now onto the apron, trying to keep himself pointing in the right direction. Rear end starts to go around. He's trying to save it, trying to get it rolling back into the apron here to avoid any big contact or calamities. And you'll see up at the top, that's where the 6th ride finally goes around as well. But Johnny Thunders runs in here, gets a big piece of them. The 48 of Grant Humphrey ends up getting tied up with the 0-2 of Lancaster. He goes around. Here comes Casey Gross. He's going to get shoved down the racetrack into Humphrey here. The 21 and 25, they're still tied together. They're rubbing off each other, and you see Tyler Humphrey get back into that 0-2 ride there. As take a look here, see if there was any damage on that number 6 machine. As Rob Tuisku trying to hang on to it, trying to keep himself out of it right there. You see the car, the contact, shoots him off the track. Now he's trying to keep it out of the fence, gets sideways. Luckily enough, oh, he does end up with some pretty solid left rear damage right there as he tail takes that inside fence. And tough break there for Rob Tuisku. Tough break for the 9 rider Tyler Humphreys early on, running into some issues here as cautions breeding cautions here at the beautiful Bristol Motor Speedway here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are enjoying the racing action, if you guys are having yourselves a wonderful day, make sure you guys help us out a little bit here. Hit the like button on the stream right now. Hit that thumbs up button for us, and make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Become part of the Peacemaker family here this evening as the Outcast Racing League ready to see the green flag fly once again. We'll have to wait and see if there's any major damage on that 6th rider Tuisku. Luckily enough, they were able to give him his spot back. So for Tuisku, he'll get ready to restart again in position number 2. We'll see if he tries to pull the same move. At least this time, he does have his teammate right there behind him in Al Reed. So a little bit easier of a call there to kind of jump down a little bit lower than I think he was expecting to be there during that last caution flag. But for Caleb McKinney, he's been out in front. He took the early race lead away from Rob Tuisku, who has had control since the drop of the green flag. And for this number 3 machine, he's just been able to run away with it so far. A lot of yellow flags, just having to hit these restarts. Really hasn't had any pressure to his back bumper as we continue to keep on battling. Take a look farther back here in the field. You do see Cameron Combs working his way now inside the top 10, but the caution flag will fly once again here in stage number 1, as I do believe we're going to see Gary Wright, the 16 ride here, the nuts.com ride, going to run into some issues here, and it may have been Cameron Combs giving him a little love nudge. Nope, just looks like the 16 loses it, washes back up the racetrack into Lancaster. He goes around. Casey Gross ends up getting a piece of him right there as well, and nuts for certain right there for the 16 ride as Gary Wright goes around, just losing that rear end out of the corner there. That's a tough spot there. Obviously, you're trying to get as big of a run, trying to keep some of these drivers back there behind you. Pressure to your back bumper, and just maybe a little too soon on the throttle, and that's where he starts to go around. Good damage there as well for the 0-2 of Lancaster. Lancaster's just trying to keep himself in this battle. And then Corey Crowell, unfortunately, getting a black flag down pit side as well for the number 2 ride. So for Corey Crowell, things going from bad to worse here for that 2 ride. The K West Group machine. Definitely not the way he wanted things to go here in this race. But I do believe if we take a look here at our point standings, he should be pretty much locked in, I do believe, into the next round of the playoffs. Did he win last week, chat? I can't remember if he did win last week. Now I'm going to be intrigued on seeing who may have picked up the dub last week. I don't know if there's anywhere I can see that here. I don't really see anything there, so I can't really tell in the Discord if Corey Crowell won last week, but he does have the points lead, so I believe he did win, so he should be already locked in. Yeah, he's locked in. You see that up at the top right there. So Corey Crowell, even though he's been having a rough go and a tough race, luckily enough for this 2 ride, he is locked into the next round of the playoffs. He will be a part of our round of 12 no matter what with the win last week, so he's got no worries, no sweat off his back. He's locked in. He's good to go. If you're a driver like Tyler Humphrey or Cameron Combs, or you look back at Casey Gross, who's ran into a couple issues, you look at Rob Tuisku, Anthony Garland, you look at Kurt Sponsler, a lot of these drivers needing some big runs. Chris Muise, Lancaster, we've seen getting tied up a couple times. Johnny Thunder's out there. He needs a good run. So for a lot of these drivers, you know, your hope is still there. You're still in it, and for the 2 run, you know, you just and on cruise control, maybe having some fun here this evening. Doesn't have to worry too much about how this one's going to get played out because he's already locked in. But for Caleb McKinney, Rob Tuisku, Anthony Garland, Kurt Sponsler, Al Reed, Mike Killingbeck, Evan Black, Grant Humphrey, Chris Muise, and Cameron Combs, our top 10, all a part of our Championship 16 here this evening, and they're all looking for those big stage points. You look at Bromfield on the outside looking in. You look at Casey Gross back there in that 14th position. Johnny Thunders is back there just on the outside looking in. So is in Tyler Humphrey, Chad Lancaster. So for a lot of these drivers, just trying to work their way through it, but we do see the caution flag coming back out. Killingbeck running into some issues here. Looks like potentially Cameron Combs in there as well. And maybe the 81 ride of Anthony Garland here. So let's take a look at Anthony. Gets a good restart. Gets underneath the 6 ride of Tuisku. Jumps up into second, but out of corner number 2. Kind of loses that rear end. Car goes around. You look at Sponsler in there. Tuisku up into the fence. The 60 ride gets tied up in it. There's the 21 to run head on into him. And then there's Corey Crowell. Of course, he's going to find another little bit of the action out there on the Speedway just to add on to his onslaught of things. But for that 81 ride, got such a good run, such a good drive down and through corner 1 and 2. Maybe just building up that false sense that he's found something, man, and just gets on the throttle there, loses it, and then around he goes, man. And there's some big hits here for a lot of our playoff competitors throughout this one, man. A lot of these guys just trying to keep themselves out of the chaos, out of the carnage, and unfortunately, and so quickly can jump up and bite you in the back end as Anthony Garland. Just really not a whole lot he could do except for hang on and hope for the best here as he's losing the rear end. You see this thing sideways sliding, and now he knows, oh, this is not a good spot to be. I'm at the front of the field, and I'm parked right in front of him. Finally goes around, and you look, he gets great eye contact there with Mike Killingbeck as they both slam up into the outside fence. Everyone's still sliding through here. Finally, you're going to see a couple more of these drivers come in here and end up making contact with him. He's got it locked down, trying to keep it stopped, and Whitford just going to come in and clean him out right there again. And then here comes Corey Crowell. What's up, Corey? There he is. Oh, love tap right there into that left front as the caution flag will be displayed once again here this evening. And drivers again going to have to take their rides down pit road and trying to get them repaired here. I think for a lot of these drivers, you look at Killingbeck, even with all the damage that he may have just gotten, you look at some of these other drivers like Rob Tuisku, he got some pretty solid damage out of that as well. Both cats going to stay out here. They're not going to come down pit road. Either is Kurt Sponsler. He got some pretty solid front end damage in that Krafts and stuff. LLC number 49 ride. So they're just trying to keep themselves, not really out of the picture for stage points. I think that's what the big idea is. Earn those stage points. Keep yourself in line to earn some, especially with how this one has kind of played out so far here this evening. Knowing that all you may have to do is run a lap or two, get another caution flag, and then be able to roll potentially under yellow to a good amount of stage points. As here we go, back to green flag racing. As quickly the 76 of Caleb McKinney back onto the throttle as here comes the Elite Sim Racing team. Kurt Sponsler, Rob Tuisku, Al Reed, 1, 2, 3, and 4 out there on the racetrack. Here is Mike Killingbeck, who is at the back of the pack here. He unfortunately was not here for last week's race, and for Killingbeck, he is a lot of points outside of potentially advancing into the next round of the playoffs, and unfortunately now he's got this car pretty tore up and trying to just hang on for some stage points. Unfortunately, he may be able to earn a lot of stage points, have a good run here, a good finish. May still not be enough for him as you do see Cameron Combs able to get around him. Combs back up into that 6th position. Chris Muise trying to work his way around him. Muise, another driver that's below that cut line, eating himself a solid day here at the Speedway and jumping up into position number 7. Maybe exactly what the doctor called for as look out back behind him. Bromfield's around. There goes Casey Gross. Caution flag back out on the Speedway. So Casey gets tied up in it. We saw, Josh Bromfield, though, up and into the outside wall right here. Not sure if he just gets loose or if he gets a little love tap here. He's trying to work his way to the outside of the 48 of Grant Humphrey. And it looks like, just gets loose right there. Ends up tagging the fence and That's where you see the 77 of Casey Groves, the 5 of Puffenbarger. They all make some contact into that, and great call right there for Anthony Garland. That was a very, very close here for Anthony. He was going to take out his own Outcast Racing League teammate right there. The pair of Poor Boy Motorsports rides were very, very close to seeing, you know, potentially one or both their teammates out of this race. As take a look on board here. This is Anthony Garland. He's rolling nice and easy, and then all of a sudden there's chaos in front of him. He doesn't really see it, and then all of a sudden there's his teammate right there, and luckily enough just able to avoid him and keep himself out of that carnage. As get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to Green Flag Racing once again. Another restart here, as we did see Brandon Puffenbarger come down pit road here. Puffenbarger, one of our non-playoff drivers, unfortunately looks like he has gotten a black flag down pit roads. That may be a pass-through penalty. And for Josh Bromfield, looks like a black flag for Bromfield as well. Oh no! Bromfield, that is a huge, huge, huge mistake there for Josh this evening, getting that black flag, having to serve potentially a pass-through penalty during the green flag action. May put him a couple laps down and really into a difficult spot here in this race. His must-love Poodles in the chat says, fun fact, Humphrey twins first went to Bristol at 5 months old. That is absolutely awesome. 5 months old, going to Bristol Motor Speedway, being able to, you know, really not step foot, but being able to get carried in on, you know, on someone else's, you know, shoulders to be able to get here and enjoy some amazing Bristol Motor Speedway racing action. That's absolutely awesome, man. That is absolutely awesome. I wish. I'm from Canada, man, so I got to make a long trip to get to Tennessee to be able to come here to Bristol. So maybe someday in the future, maybe I'll be able to make that trip, but this would definitely be one of those races that, you know, I'd love to go to, being a, you know, a short track, dirt track guy myself. Being able to watch short track racing in the Cup Series has always been kind of my favorite thing to do. You know, that close quarters, contact, elbows up, battling. Like we see here tonight, we see it in the real life NASCAR racing as well, and it creates for a lot of great fun and great atmosphere. And Bristol just, you know, perpetuates that, but just makes it that much bigger, that much better. As here we go, back to Green Flag Racing for what will be a short run until the end of stage number 1 here this evening, as the 76 of Caleb McKinney just been able to hit these restarts, keep the 76 right out in front. It's been easy breezy, easy sailing here for that 76 ride, as Kurt Sponsler Jr., who was outside the cut line, really needed some good points here this evening, sitting second right now. He's got to be feeling pretty confident about how this one may play out for this stage with his teammates Rob Tuisku, Al Reed, and Cameron Combs are right there behind him. All 4 Elite Sim Racing rides inside the top 5 right now. Devin Black there in 6 with Killingbeck, Chris Muise, Grant Humphrey, and Johnny Thunders rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. But it's all Caleb McKinney, as down and across the line, he will pick up the stage win. So Caleb McKinney picks up the first stage win here this evening, with Kurt Sponsler Jr. coming home in second. Rob Tuisku will come home in third, with Al Reed and Cameron Combs rounding out our top 5. Devin Black will come home in 6th, with Mike Killingbeck, Chris Muise, Grant Humphrey, and Johnny Thunders rounding out our top 10 here in this stage. So the Krafts and Stuff LLC 200 already putting on a crazy show for us, and we see a couple of our you know, Krafts and Stuff LLC rides coming home inside the top 10. Johnny Thunders there in 10th, Kurt Sponsler coming home in 2nd. We also saw that Krafts and Stuff logo on that beautiful number 3 machine of Al Reed as well. So Krafts and Stuff getting a lot of love and support and some good runs here in the first stage of the day, as we'll get them all ready to either come down pit road, try to play some different pit strategy. We'll have to wait and see what these drivers are going to be willing to do. I think for a lot of these guys here at the front of the field, if you're inside the top 5, maybe the top 10, maybe you'd stay out. Maybe tires aren't that important. Maybe you won't have to worry too much about coming down pit road and elect to just take the track position over potentially the little bit better tires, plus it saves an extra set for you later in this race, and that's exactly what we'll see as Grant Humphrey will move up into 6th, Johnny Thunders now into 7th, Lancaster, Tyler Humphrey, they'll move forward as we see Devin Black, Mike Killingbeck, Chris Muise, Casey Gross, Brandon Puffenbarger, Darrell Whitford, Gary Wright, they all come down pit side here as we did see Corey Crowell still, I do believe, at least a couple laps down out there for that number 2 ride. Josh Bromfield now finds himself a few laps down. Wayne Garland a few laps down back in 22nd. Looks like Billy Jordan has taken himself out of this race. Same with Joshua Barton as, man, already craziness, mayhem, chaos, whatever you may want to call it. A lot of caution flags as these drivers have been tearing up quite a bit of equipment here early on this evening, but we still got a lot of great racing left to go here in this one. So let's get a quick word in here from our sponsors over at
When it's time to fix it, find it, or upgrade it, trust the experts. At M&M Auto Parts, we've got over 150,000 parts in stock and ready for delivery. And for the hands-on builders and bargain hunters, stop by Rupert's You Pull It, where we give you the freedom to pull the parts yourself and save big. Visit any one of our 3 locations in Virginia, or visit us online at mmauto.com to browse our grand inventory. With over 60 years of experience, when it comes to auto parts, we know how to pick them. Don't wait. Race on down to your nearest M&M Auto Parts location, or find us on the web and give us a shout.
All right, quick shout out there to M&M Auto Parts as here we go, back to green flag racing. Stage number 1 into the history book. Stage number 2 is underway. And as we look back early on in this race about our crew chief report here, our crew chief breakdown gave us the update, that these drivers can make it roughly about that 100 laps or so. You take a look here at that tire sets, at the fuel distance, you can really make it, 90 to 100 laps on what these tanks are allowed to carry here for the series. So that's a big break right here for a lot of these drivers, especially with all those caution flags. I think getting to lap 100 into that second stage probably isn't going to be that much of a difficulty here, especially if we continue to see more yellow flags. But I think for how many caution laps that we played there in that first stage, I think for a lot of these cats that stayed out, they're sitting in a pretty sizable advantage here, especially with that track position. As Caleb McKinney, Al Reed sit 1 and 2. It's Cameron Combs working his way around his teammates up and into that 3rd position, trying to get around his other teammate there, Al Reed, in a quick hurry as Rob Tuisku. They are in 4th. Kurt Sponsler rounding out our top 5. Now, Chad Lancaster, Tyler Humphrey, both were down pit road on lap number 37. They now sit 6th and 7th out there on the racetrack as Grant Humphrey sits in position number 8. Johnny Thunders back there in 9th, and James Garland rounding out our top 10. So for James Garland, early on, got some sizable damage. Also had to serve a pass-through penalty. Went a couple laps down, but luckily enough for that Ghost Warheads number 37 ride. Back on the lead lap, back inside the top 10 here, even with that front end damage. This thing is still rolling in the right direction as we do see the caution flag fly. So the caution flag will come out here as I do believe we saw the 84 ride of Wayne Garland running into some problems here. Let's take a look at Wayne down out of the corner, just loses the rear end, trying to save it. Car just washes back up the track right into the lap of the 21 machine of Darrell Whitford. Whitford just nowhere for him to go. Heavy left front damage there for Whitford, man. That is a tough break for the 21 ride as he's just trying to keep himself out of it, trying to keep himself out of the carnage here. And unfortunately, it jumps up and gets him in a quick hurry as the Yield Max ETFs. Number 21 right there, just nowhere to go. So the Yield Max ETFs Number 21 machine, man, this is a big hit. This is a hard hit here for him, man. Really just nothing that you can really do. You may see the 84 getting bent out of shape, but you expect to see him maybe catch it here or keep it pinned down the racetrack, and all of a sudden, this 84 starts coming right back up the speedway. You're trying to get sent in for the corner. You go to the right to avoid him. Unfortunately, you just run out of time and run out of room, and end up slamming right into that number 84, Wayne Garland, and ends up causing quite a bit of left front damage for this 21 ride. He may be down pit road for an extended period of time, so tough break there for the Yield Max ride as he'll take it down pit road and be down there for potentially an extended trip here this evening. Now, we did see a few drivers elect to come down pit side right here. We did see Cameron Combs. He just rakes his way up and into third, but now makes his way down pit side. You also see his teammate, Rob Tuisku, also coming back down pit road here as well. So a couple drivers making some more pit stops here on lap 63. We saw Anthony Garland back down pit side. Casey Gross was back down pit road. Now those two may have been looking just to try and get some damage repair for their race cars, but nonetheless, we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing. And for Cameron Combs, not sure, he may have went a lap down or two right here. What in the world has happened to Cameron Combs? He came down pit road, and I do believe for Combs, he may be a couple laps down now. Oh no, for a driver that was just up into that third position, what in the world has happened here to Cameron Combs? I do believe he is scored as a lap down. So coming down pit road, it cost him enough time that he has lost a lap. And for the 15 ride, scored back in the 18th position. Now he is the first car one lap down, so he is in line to get the lucky dog, the free pass to try to get back on a lead lap, but that is still a very difficult spot to be if you're that 15 ride. You got to hope for another quick caution flag to try to get yourself back into the battle. As here we go, back to green flag racing, and again, it's just that 76 ride, man. Caleb McKinney out in front. Jumped out in front on the opening lap. Has had the ranks lead ever since then and has not looked back. He hasn't really had to run too long of a stint here. Looks like he saved probably a good amount of tire and potentially enough fuel that he's just kind of on cruise control till the end of potentially stage number 2, knowing that winning both these stages, earning himself some big bonus points, may also give him enough points to lock his way into that round of 12. Al Reed right there in second. He's trying to chase him down here, hoping to put the pressure onto the back bumper of that 76, especially if we can see some good green flag laps being laid down by these drivers, but it's not going to last for long as the caution flag does come back out. So unfortunately for the 7 of Devin Black, looks like he's going to get tied up in this one. I believe him and James Garland are going to get tied up here. So Devin Black up on the high side, Garland down on the bottom, and then we're going to see right here out of the corner, looks like the 37 just pushes up the racetrack here. 7 right, Devin Black is already there, and unfortunately just kind of drives up the speedway for James and right into the lap here of Devin Black. Nowhere for him to go. Both drivers up and into the outside fence. Pretty solid contact and damage for both drivers for the 37 and the 7, and I do believe everyone else able to keep themselves out of it, able to keep on rolling here. No one else gets collected, so that's good news for the rest of the field to keep themselves out of that carnage. Unfortunately for James Garland and for Devin Black, that will cause them enough damage that they may have to come down pit road, try to get some repairs. As now we do see Rob Tuisku down pit road, and it looks like, oh no, Rob Tuisku may have gotten a black flag down pit side, chat. Coming back down pit road, trying to play some different strategy, and it looks like for Rob Tuisku, may have been caught speeding down pit road. I'll have to wait and see what that penalty may entail, as I do believe his teammate Cameron Combs will get the lucky dog. He will get back on the lead lap, so for Cameron Combs, that's a great break there for that Mobile 1 number 15 ride, because he'll have to try to work his way back up and through the field. But for a lot of these drivers, man, a lot of mistakes, a lot of issues throughout this race, and already we've seen a lot of tore up race cars and a lot of drivers that are in our playoffs that are in a very, very difficult spot. You look back at Josh Bromfield here. Bromfield scored in the 20th position Scored in 20th position, and right now I do believe he is 12 laps down here in this race. So 12 laps down, back in the 20th spot. He either needs a lot of other drivers to exit out of this race to give him the opportunity to gain those positions back, or hopefully just having, you know, a lot of yellow flags to at least maybe work his way back into the picture here. But with, you know, Corey Crowell still a lap down, with Rob Tuisku being a lap down now in that number 6 ride, it's going to be very, very tough for them to try to battle back, to be able to get enough lucky dogs and get himself back into the action. Darrell Whitford already down and out of this race. I do believe Wayne Garland and Billy Jordan also down and out of the race, as well as Joshua Benton. So we started with 24 drivers. We only have 20 still rolling out there on the Speedway. 20 drivers still rolling, still driving, still competing, with Bromfield at the back of the pack. Caleb McKinney still at the front of the pack. As down through that Echo Park restart zone, here we go, back to green flag racing. Green flag back into the air here for Caleb McKinney as he gets another good launch, another good restart, as Al Reed and current sponsor right there in tow. Tyler Humphreys worked his way back up inside the top 5 as he rolls there in position number 4, as Chad Lancaster right there on his back bumper. Grant Humphrey, Devin Black, Johnny Thunders, Edward Belair, and Mike Killingback round out our top 10. Chris Muise there in 11th with Anthony Garland, James Garland, Casey Gross, and Gary Wright back there in the 14th and 15th position. You see Brandon Puffenbarger now working his way down low underneath of Gary Wright. Cameron Gomes back here as well, as that 2 rider Corey Crowell, as Crowell goes around. He's pointing the wrong direction. He's got to get this thing pointed back in the right way in a quick hurry, else we may see another caution flag. Luckily enough, he does get it rolling, as here comes our race leaders. That will put Corey Crowell at least another lap down, but luckily enough for one of our playoff competitors here this year, that 2 ride winning last week's race, man, was a bit of a blessing in disguise, because obviously it has not been his day here at Bristol Motor Speedway. And for that 2 machine, a lot of issues and being stuck, you know, multiple laps down out there on the Speedway would not be a fun place to be if he was, you know, trying to, you know, get enough points to work his way into the next round. If he was below that cut line, I think it'd be a very, very tough day for him to try to gain any points. So, luckily enough, locked in, doesn't have to worry about those points. He will be a part of the round of 12, and he'll get to, you know, race another day here. But for 11 other playoff drivers here this evening, they're still looking to punch their ticket into the next round of these playoffs. So, for a lot of them, just trying to have good runs, solid performances here, and hoping that they can work their way up there, including drivers like Kurt Sponsler, Chad Lancaster, some of these guys that were kind of below that cut line. Look back at Chris Muise, Anthony Garland, who I do believe was right on that cut line. He was just above it. Unfortunately, he's had a bit of a rough go here himself. I don't think he really earned any major stage points there in that first stage. And for the 81 ride, as of right now, rolls in about that 10th position. But if he continues to lose stage points to potentially drivers like Sponsler, to Chad Lancaster, could put him into a very difficult position in a quick hurry, as they're 2-3 wide right here in front of the 81. He's going to send it in there deep. Oh, baby, almost got a piece of the 25. Luckily enough, able to stay out of Edward Belair. No one goes around. We keep it clean and green, as here comes the 5 rider Brandon Puffenbarger right there. Cameron Combs is there, as well as Grant Humphrey trying to hang on now to that 10th position. We did see Tyler Humphrey work his way up and into 3rd, now working towards the back bumper here of Al Reed for position number 2 out there on the racetrack. It's Adam Humphrey says, keep grinding, Humphrey boys. Let's see a 1-2 finish. Hoping for a 1-2 Humphrey finish here this evening from Bristol Motor Speedway. Man, that would be something, as here comes Humphrey. He's at least looking for a stage win here, trying to race his way up to the 76 and Caleb McKinney. McKinney, maybe a bit of a sit and duck here. Humphrey was down pit road on lap 37, so maybe just that extra little bit of fuel, or maybe that extra little bit of tire, maybe the difference maker here late in this stage on whether or not Caleb McKinney can hold him off and keep him back there at bay. As Humphreys definitely looking to try to race his way up and into the stage win. He's not going to be sitting back at all, and here he's rolling that center of the corner to perfection. Gets to the inside here of Caleb McKinney, looking for another good run down through 3 and 4, and down across the line we get our first new race leader here this evening. It took us 89 laps until we finally saw a lead change here today. The first 88 laps of this race were led by that 76 of Caleb McKinney, but as we near the end of stage number 2, Caleb McKinney finally loses that race lead in. Tyler Humphrey, T-Hump in the Landesco. Isabel's Impact number 9 ride now out in front has this race lead, and we do see a caution flag fly. So the caution flag will come out. Looks like Brandon Puffenbarger. Puffenbarger was racing his way forward here, and all of a sudden, looks like he's ran into some more issues up into the outside fence right there, trying to hang on to it. Car goes around, and unfortunately just that damage to the outside fence. And this thing completely unbalanced, and he finally went around and stopped there on the speedway and brings out our caution flag. I don't even know what number of cautions we're on now. What caution flag are we on here, chat? This is going to be an interesting one to see, because I'm not too sure what caution flag we're sitting at now. Our 11th caution flag. Our 11th caution flag so far here this evening. My gosh, 11 yellows. That's Bristol for you, though. Bristol, this is kind of to be expected here at Bristol. Sometimes we can see some really, really good, clean racing here. I see a lot of good laps laid down in a quick hurry, and things move along super fast here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Or you can see a lot of yellow flags. That pace gets back down by the, pace truck, and unfortunately, that's what we're kind of seeing here today. And there you go. You see the 6th ride able to get the lucky dog back on a lead lap. Great break right there for that 6th machine, Rob Tuisku. Tuisku will get back on a lead lap, as I do believe Brandon Puffenbarger has now fallen a lap down. Anthony Garland still in the lead lap, but he's coming back down pit side. So is a Mike Killingback, Casey Gross, Grant Humphrey also coming back down pit side here on lap number 94 here this evening. So for a lot of these drivers, man, knowing that, fuel mileage may not be a huge issue, especially if we continue to see these caution flags. You look at some of these guys, still out there on the racetrack. Caleb McKinney, Al Reed, Kurt Sponsler, the 37 of James Garland. All these drivers have yet to come down pit road. In this race, they've still kept themselves clean and green and not making a pit stop as of yet. Now, they're going to have to come down at some point, get some fuel here, probably at the end of this stage. But as of right now, you can make it 100 laps. And if you take that track position, maybe some of these drivers maybe try to leapfrog and get themselves out in front. When you look at drivers like Casey Gross or Anthony Garland, Mike Killingback, Grant Humphrey, they just came down pit road there on lap number 94. So you're down pit side on lap 94. Can you make it 106 if we continue to see this many caution flags? Maybe 106 laps isn't out of the picture book here. Maybe you can make it to the end of this race without having to make another pit stop here. And as a lot of the drivers in front of you have to navigate their way down pit road, may just give you all that track position that you need to try and push yourself out in front. And he'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing. Be another short run to the end of stage number 2 here this evening as the 9 rider Tyler Humphrey. Great restart. Great restart, clears that 76 of Caleb McKinney. McKinney's going to try to go after him as Devin Black works his way around Al Reed. Reed will fall back into position number 4 as Chad Lancaster, Kurt Sponsler, Chris Muise, Edward Belair, Cameron Combs, and Mike Killingback rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. But for Tyler Humphrey, it's not done yet. He's got to try to hold off this 76. McKinney's right there. He still wants to try to win this stage, and now here comes Devin Black as well. Black's putting his name right into the running here for trying to win this stage. Unfortunately, bounced it pretty solidly there up and off the outside fence. That killed a ton of momentum there for him. It's down across the line. It'll be 1 lap left to go here in stage number 2. As Tyler Humphrey looking for the stage win here at Bristol Motor Speedway. He'll take us down the back straightaway, down through 3, and out of corner number 4, it is the Landesco Isabel's Impact Must Love Poodles number 9 rider Tyler Humphrey, who wins our second stage of the day. Caleb McKinney comes home in second with Devin Black. Al Reed and Chad Lancaster are top 5 there in the stage. Kurt Sponsler, Cameron Combs, Chris Muise, Edward Belair, and Casey Gross will round out our top 10 in that stage. So, the stage is almost set here for these drivers. Let's take another look here at these point standings, knowing kind of where some of these drivers have finished. So for Caleb McKinney, I think with the point difference that he had, plus the stage win in second there in that stage, I think he's good on points. He should be locked in. I believe Tyler Humphrey should be locked in. Cameron Combs, he'll be really tight, but I believe Combs will probably be locked in. Casey Gross really hasn't earned too many points, but hasn't really given up too many, so I think he should be a lock. Al Reed's been up there inside the top 5 all day. He should be locked in, and I think right around maybe Grant Humphrey. Humphrey, I don't think has really gained any good stage points for Grant. Grant could be one of those drivers falling outside of our top 12 in the point standings, as Devin Black, he just earned some good stage points right there, and for the 7 ride could be leapfrogging at least Grant Humphrey. Bromfield, another driver that has had a very, very tough day, sitting back deep in the field and multiple laps down for Bromfield. He's definitely at risk of missing out here on the second round of these playoffs. Tuisku back on a lead lap there. Didn't earn any stage points there in that second stage. Did earn some stage points in the first stage. That could put him into a good position. Kurt Sponsler, who sits 11th in these point standings, he's had pretty good stage finishes here. I believe that should move him quite a ways above that cut line. Anthony Garland, I don't think has really had any stages, so Anthony could fall backwards. Lancaster could move up. We've seen Chris Muise in there. He might move up. For Johnny Thunders and Mike Killing back there, going to have some big runs to be able to try to work their way into it. But I think for a lot of those drivers that are, towards the bottom half of our playoff list, it's going to be very nervous times for them. This final, 100 laps or so is going to be very difficult for them to try and work themselves into the next round of our playoffs. As, man, it's been crazy. A lot of chaos, a lot of cautions, a lot of drivers just trying to keep their playoff dreams alive here this evening. And, you look back at Josh Bromfield, still scored back in that 20th position. Still about 11 laps down. Man, that is a tough spot to be in. About 11 laps down out there on the racetrack. That is not a fun spot to be if you're that 12 ride. For Corey Crowell, he is still 1 lap down as well. Luckily enough for Crowell, he doesn't have to worry about points or anything else. He's already locked in. I do believe for the 5 rider, Brandon Puffenbarger, also a lap down here as well. So for Puffenbarger, a lap down. James Garland, last driver on the lead lap, scored back in that 17th position. As we talked about the different pit strategies and how this was going to work out, this is exactly what we were talking about. Grant Humphrey now has the race lead, but look out, Humphrey's getting sideways. Around goes the 48, around goes the 81 of Anthony Garland in the wrecking here at the front of the field. Oh, Anthony gets T-boned from the 25 ride of Edward Belair. Big hit right there for the 81 machine as, oh, brother. Going back to battle, and for Grant Humphrey, his first taste of fresh air here. He's just getting a little too excited there. The Must Love Poodles. Ryan gets back onto the throttle right here. Just steps on it a little bit too much. Lose that rear end, shoots down the racetrack. Anthony Garland trying to stay up and out of the way here. He's onto the binders. Cameron Combs jumps to his outside. And for Cameron Combs, he sees the back bumper, jumps to the outside. Obviously with that run, nowhere for the 81 to go. Comes up across his nose. It puts both Cameron Combs and Anthony Garland into the outside fence right here. And that's where we're going to see Anthony kind of go around. The 15 will keep on going, but then we're going to see Edward Belair slide in here and just absolutely slam into the driver's side door of Anthony Garland. Hopefully Anthony is A-okay. Yeah, that's a big, big hit right there for him. Big hit for him, big hit for the 25 right of Edward Belair, as both drivers will make their way down pit road. And looks like Cameron Combs also going to come back down pit side as well. He's going to be looking for some damage repair and trying to get his car worked back up and back up towards the front of the field here. He's been back and forth all throughout this race here, and a bit of a tough sliding day for the 15 ride as well. So that will set us back up for another restart here, another opportunity for drivers to take advantage of these caution flags, as we do see Chris Muise now as our race leader, Caleb McKinney in second, Tyler Humphrey back in position number 3 with Rob Tuisku there in 4th, and Devin Black rounding out our top 5. Kurt Sponsler, Al Reed, Mike Killingbeck, Casey Gross, and Gary Wright. The top 10 out there on the Speedway with Johnny Thunders, James Garland, Brandon Puffenbarger, Grant Humphrey, Edward Belair, Anthony Garland, Cameron Combs, Chad Lancaster, Rory Crowell, and Josh Bromfield, our top 20 here this evening for Darrell Whitford, Wayne Garland, and Billy Jordan, and Joshua Benton. Like their nights have all come to a close here. So 24 drivers started the race, still 20 drivers left for rolling, as we do see Cameron Combs still down pit road. Anthony Garland rolls back out there, and I do believe for Cameron Combs being back down pit road here, he's got another lap down again here in that 15 ride. This is the second time we've seen him actually lose a lap down pit road here this evening. I'm not sure if it's just trying to get as much fix as possible, knowing that maybe he'll still be in that lucky dog position and that he won't have to really stress too much here, but nonetheless, not a fun spot to be if you're that 15 ride. As here we go. Back to green flag racing as Chris Muise. The great start here. Great jump, great launch. Chris Muise able to get a pretty solid start, and he's hoping to use it to his advantage, trying to pull away from that 76. And now look out, Caleb McKinney. Oh, baby. Even some of our fastest cats of the day, a driver that led a lot of laps early in this race, and pretty much the majority of this race. McKinney making that mistake right there. That's what we've seen a few of these drivers run into issues, just getting under the throttle a little bit too much on corner exit can really get you bent out of shape. Luckily enough, he was able to hang on to it, keep it rolling, keep himself right here in that second place position. Still trying to battle up to the 99 of Chris Muise as Tyler Humphrey there in 30. Got Rob Tuisku and Devin Black right there in the mix, as well as here comes Al Reed and Kurt Sponsler, hoping to try to join their Elite Sim Racing teammates here back up towards the front of the field. Mike Killingbeck there in 8th, as you do see Killingbeck trying to have a big run here this evening. Came in well below that cut line. Definitely a lot of points that he needed to gain this evening. I don't think he's really gained too many, so I think it's going to be very, very tough for that 70 ride. He's probably going to have to win this race to try to work his way into the next round of these playoffs. Casey Gross came in with a good points gap. He's sitting there at 9th. He should be good here, as we see some contact right here behind him. Look out, Gary Wright and that 37 tied together. Both drivers into the outside fence. That will bring the caution flag back out. So that's James Garland and Gary Wright just on corner exit again. You still see that front end damage here for that 37 ride. And I believe that's what we're going to see. Maybe just pushes up the Speedway here, an ill-handling race car with that damage. It's up into the 16. They end up getting tied together up into the outside fence. And as they get to a halt here, unfortunately for both drivers, that will bring him to a rest stand, bring the caution flag back out here this evening. So another quick caution flag and another restart here on the horizon for Caleb McKinney, as McKinney was able to just jump out in front here. Humphrey and Devin Black up and into second and third as Chris Muise falls back into position number 4. He'll continue to look for more here as the laps continue to get clicked down. Even though we've had a good number of caution flags, now our 14th yellow of the evening, we are inching closer and closer to the checkered here. So here comes Chris Muise. Muise is going to come down pit road. Okay, this interesting pit call here for the 99 ride, but he does make his way down pit side. So does the number 70 of Mike Killingback. We'll see Gary Wright, Grant Humphrey, Brendan Puffenbarger, Edward Belair, James Garland down pit side, Corey Crowell, Chad Lancaster, Josh Bromfield. They all make their way down pit road here. So for a lot of these drivers trying to get an edge on tires or maybe that extra little bit of fuel, but we do see a few drivers end up with black flags down pit road. Oh no. James Garland. Black flag, too fast down pit side, and I do believe Josh Bromfield again. Tough day for him, just going to continue to get tougher as Bromfield receives another black flag. Speeding down pit side for the 12 ride, and for Bromfield, his tough day is going to continue to be tough here this evening, and unfortunately he may lose another couple laps here in this one. And for a driver who's already about 12 laps down, definitely not a fun spot to be, losing even more laps out there on the racetrack. And for Bromfield, he's held down here. He's going to stay down pit side. I'm not sure if he's going to roll back out, but for Josh Bromfield and for how early those issues happened. Oh, now we see Cameron Combs. Oh, no. Cameron Combs, black flag down pit road as well. Too fast down pit side, and I do believe for Cameron Combs also going to get a black flag there. We'll have to wait and see if that one sticks, if the officials will have time to take a look at it and see what that problem may have been. And a lot of drivers having pit road mistakes. A lot of drivers having mistakes out on the racetrack. This is a race that you really have to be mistake-free to just keep yourself in it, keep yourself in a position to continue battling here this evening. As here we go, back to green flag racing, back to battle here in Bristol. As Caleb McKinney gets another big restart, another great jump right there, trying to keep Tyler Humphrey back there at bay. But just as quickly as we went back to green flag racing, the caution flag will come right back out. So caution flag back out here. You do see few drivers sign up here in this one. Chad Lancaster, Gary Wright looked like Killingback also signed up here as well. Let's take a look here. So Anthony Garland's down low, kind of pushes up the track here, and that's where Killingback is going to end up making some contact. So take a look. So big restart here. See if we can take a look from 70's perspective of Killingback. So watch that yellow, blue, and pink car. This moves down the track right here onto the apron, comes up off the apron. Killingback trying not to run over him, washes up the racetrack right there, ends up into that left rear quarter panel of the 0-2 ride. And for the Land and CNSB 0-2 at Chad Lancaster, it's turned sideways, backs up into the outside fence. 70 rides around as well. And that's where we'll see this caution flag come back out as Gary Wright, nowhere to go, ends up, oh man, Nuts. That sucks for him. The Nuts.com ride head on into that 0-2 ride, giving him some pretty good damage there as well. For the 16 of Gary Wright this evening, more damage for that 0-2 ride. And we did see James Garland also lose control, trying to avoid all this carnage right here. Just luckily able to avoid Killingback, but unfortunately loops it around and finds himself into the inside safer barrier anyways, giving himself even more damage. More chaos, more mayhem out there on the Speedway. Another caution flag means another restart, and we inch closer and closer to our checkered flag here this evening as we get ready to go back to green flag racing here. Next time by the start-finish line, we're going to jump into our Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as we get ready to go back to green flag racing, we want you guys to hit the like button, hit that share button, hit that follow, and subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here this evening. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button right now. Turn those bell notifications on because you never want to miss it when we go back to green flag racing here this evening, especially as we get another series back underway tonight as well. We're going to be back in there with the Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League for a little dirt track racing tonight with the, I do believe the super late models or pro late models here this evening. So it'll be a lot of fun being there with the late models in action with the Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League as these drivers get ready to go back to battle. We get ready to jump into our Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers. We crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. Alrighty, caution flag going to come right back out here during the Crank It Up as contact between the 25 and the 16 ride down and out of corner number 2. We're going to see these two shoot it in, and it looks like maybe the 25 comes up a little bit. 16 ride kind of comes down a little bit right there, down that front straightaway. Let's see if we can get another bit of a look at this one, because that's exactly what it looks like. So one driver kind of moves down a little bit. 16 trying to keep himself out of the fence right there, kind of comes down. 25 starts to come up. They just get tied together here deeper in the field. It spins the 25 ride around, up and into the outside fence, pointing the wrong direction. And for the Detroit Lions, number 25 ride, not the right place to be at the right time, and obviously pointing the wrong direction. Will bring the caution flag back out as 16 ride comes to a rest there up and into the outside fence there as well. So another quick caution flag and another opportunity for drivers to try to put themselves up here into the winner's circle. As we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing, just a few more moments here. See if we can get a quick word in from one of our sponsors over at M&M Auto Parts.
When it's time to fix it, find it, or upgrade it, trust the experts. At M&M Auto Parts, we've got over 150,000 parts in stock and ready for delivery. And for the hands-on builders and bargain hunters, stop by Rupert's You Pull It, where we give you the freedom to pull the parts yourself and save big. Visit any one of our 3 locations in Virginia, or visit us online at mmauto.com to browse our grand inventory. With over 60 years of experience, when it comes to auto parts, we know how to pick them. Don't wait. Race on down to your nearest M&M Auto Parts location, or find us on the web and give us a shout. M&M Auto, family-owned, quality parts.
Getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Continue to crank it up here this evening from Bristol Motor Speedway. It is the Outcast Racing League. As down and out of 4, the green flag will be back into the air. Alrighty, caution flag will come back out here in this one. I do believe Cameron Combs is going to get tied up here. So watch the mobile one, number 15 right here, out of corner number 2, gets loose, tries to stay out of Killingbeck. Finally, just loses that rear end, goes around here sideways on the racetrack. Look at the 16 of Gary Wright, just able to avoid him, just able to keep himself out of any of that action and not getting any damage there himself. But as the 15 right goes around, comes to a rest there on the bottom side of the racetrack, caution flag does get displayed. So another quick caution flag here this evening. That's going to bring a lot of drivers down pit road. So a lot of drivers make their way down pit side right here. Looks like pretty much everybody except for our top 6 will come down pit side here. Here comes Caleb McKinney, Kurt Sponsler, Rob Tuisku, Johnny Thunders, Al Reed, James Garland, Corey Crowell. All these drivers heading down pit road for Tyler Humphrey. Humphrey's going to stay out. Humphrey stays out. So does Devin Black, Casey Gross. Chris Muise is going to stay out. We do see Brandon Puffenbarger makes his way down pit road, but we did see Killingbeck also staying out here as well, back in that 5th position now for the 70 rides. So this is going to make things very interesting. Maybe some old tires to new tires and some different pit strategies here. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out and see if one of these drivers can hit it on the head here this evening, trying to earn that track position and put themselves into the winning position here for late in this race. As Tyler Humphrey does regain the race lead, he will get ready to restart here from the pole position. He's got the rest of these drivers back behind him. We'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to go to green flag racing in just a few more moments for what's going to be a pretty exciting, a pretty thrilling, and what could be even more chaos here over the next 50 laps of racing action as we got 50 laps left to go, this time by the start-finish line.
Engines roar, louder than a lion about to feast. Racers in the zone, gripping wheels like a beast. Outcast League, tearing up the blacktop terrain. Rubber burning speed, churning gasoline in their veins. Peacemaker's lens, captures it clean. Broadcast a dream on a digital screen. NASCAR hearts with that outlaw creed. Outcast racing warriors of speed. Start your engines, thunder shakes the pit. Chrome shining bright, every car's legit. Draft.
Alrighty, green flag back out into the air here as all these drivers get ready to rumble for what could be some of our final restarts of this race. If we could see some good green flag laps being laid down, could make things very, very exciting as we do see Devin Black work his way around Tyler Humphrey. Humphrey falls back to second, but quickly down to the inside. Humphrey looking to take the race lead back away. He will steal it back away from Devin Black. So Black will slide back here in this one as here comes Chris Muise. Here comes Caleb McKinney as the 9 rider Tyler Humphrey trying to hang on to the race lead, trying to keep these drivers back there at bay. Maybe new tires starting to work their way up to his rear bumper. As here comes the 76 of Caleb McKinney, the 6 rider Rob Tuisku. He's right there ready to pounce. Here comes the 70 of Killingbeck, the 77 of Casey Gross. We do see Al Reed back there in 8th, Kurt Sponsler up and into 9th, Gary Wright rounding out our top 10 as of right now, but it's all Tyler Humphrey as Humphrey continues to lead the way. Tyler out in front, leading this race, trying to keep all these drivers back there at bay. As, man, what a race, what a show so far, man. These guys have been putting on an absolutely amazing event for us here in the Krafts and Stuff LLC 200 here from Bristol Motor Speedway. It has been an exciting one, and we are not done yet. As hang on to it, Chris Muise getting real squirrely right there. And that 76 of McKinney right down to his inside there, rubbing on that left rear quarter panel. Luckily enough, able to keep pointing the right direction, but it does pull McKinney and Muise door to door, and it looks like that inside lane may prove a little bit better here as McKinney looks like he will make that pass and jump back into that 3rd position. But for Tyler Humphrey, he's out in front. He's got Rob Tuisku. He's got Caleb McKinney right here behind him. That's our pole sitter and our early race leader here right on his back bumper. And for the driver who won stage number 2, can Tyler Humphrey keep these guys back there at bay and put himself up and into victory lane here this evening at Bristol Motor Speedway, a place he visited with his twin brother Grant Humphrey, who scored back in that 12th position when they were at the early age of 5 months old for the first time that they came here to Bristol Motor Speedway. So they know this track. They've been here a lot since they were infants. They've been, right here in the infield, in the outfield, watching and learning and competing here at Bristol Motor Speedway. So for Tyler Humphrey, he's right at home right now, sitting out front, chilling nice and easy, but he knows that he sees these guys in his rearview mirror starting to battle for that second position. This may be his opportunity to build a bit of a lead, a bit of an advantage. They're trying to pull away here from Caleb McKinney and Rob Tuisku. For McKinney and Tuisku, they see a caution flag, and they see that gap disappear in a quick hurry as there is the yellow. Devin Black going to run into issues. Devin turned around, and caution flag will come back out. So the caution flag will be displayed here once again for the 7 ride as he was battling here with Chris Muise. This is a battle inside our top 4. Unfortunately for Devin, I don't know if there's contact or if he just, right there, loses the rear end, finally goes around, sliding sideways up and into corner number 3. Luckily enough, looks like everyone else able to avoid him there, but sliding down there does bring the caution flag back out, and that will mix things up even more. More drivers electing to maybe make their final pit stops. We do see Tyler Humphrey. He's going to give up that race lead. He comes down pit road. Casey Gross also down pit side. Here comes Killingback, Brandon Puffenbarger, Anthony Garland back down pit side. Here comes Devin Black down pit road to get service done to his race car. We did see Cameron Combs unfortunately fall a couple laps down for Cameron Combs. I do believe right now he has scored 2 laps down. Should get a lap back right here. Actually, he may have been 3 laps down here. We'll have to wait and see where he's kind of lined up when we go back to green flag racing. Luckily enough, he is still in that free pass position. So a few more caution flags. Cameron Combs could potentially get back into the battle here this evening. But as of right now, he's going to need a few more yellows to try to get him into the hunt here this evening. As Caleb McKinney, though, out in front, gets that race lead with Humphrey coming down pit road. They'll put him back out in front. Now we do see Corey Crowell making his way down pit side. So that will move Tyler Humphrey up into the 9th position for this restart. So Tyler Humphrey will be sitting in the 9th spot when we go back to green flag racing. That's going to make things very, very interesting here, trying to figure out if he's going to be able to work his way back to the front of the field here. Laps are clicking down in a quick hurry. He's going to have to pass a lot of cars. He's going to have to try to battle his way up and through this traffic to even give himself a shot to try to get back to the race lead. Can he get it done, though? Can he find his way back up here to Tuisku and Caleb McKinney for potentially what could be the race win here this evening? We do see Chris Muise. He sits there in 3rd, and we're now into 4th. Kurt Sponsler sits there in that 5th position. So again, a lot of these Elite Sim racing rides swap the top 5 here at Bristol Motor Speedway once again as Johnny Thunder's back in 6th. Then we do see Gary Wright, Grant Humphrey, Tyler Humphrey, Brandon Puffenbarger rounding out our top 10. Casey Gross, Anthony Garland, Mike Killingback, Devin Black, and Corey Crowell are top 15, all still on the lead lap. Cameron Combs back in 16th. Now he's the first driver a lap down. He is 2 laps down as of right now. So for Cameron Combs, needs a couple caution flags and a couple more lucky dogs to get himself back into the battle. And then we see Lancaster. James Garland is down and out of this race. Josh Bromfield still rolling, looking to hopefully pick up a couple more positions before the end of this race as the green flag is back into the air. So for Caleb McKinney, another good restart, another good launch there for the 76 ride. He's out in front. He's got a couple car lengths now between himself and Rob Tuisku. Can Rob work his way back to the rear bumper of this 76 ride as they head down through corner number 3 and out at corner number 4, back down through that Echo Park restart zone. They'll click off another lap, and we get a little bit closer to the checkered flag here this evening as Caleb McKinney continues to lead the way here. He's led the most laps in this race. and continues to lead these drivers here this evening and trying to lead them down to a checkered flag here today. Is down across the line, only 30 laps left to go. 30 more laps of racing action here this evening. Still a lot of caution flags on the horizon, and there is one right there. Caution flag will come back out. More carnage, more mayhem back here deeper in the field. Corey Crowell, Anthony Garland tied up in this one. Let's take a look here, see what happens. So it looks like Crowell just losing the rear end again. Maybe gets a little love tap here from Mike Killingback. Nope, looks like rear end steps out and around on him. 2 right gets sideways, 70 right nowhere to go. 81 right to Anthony Garland, just trying to keep himself out of it. Unfortunately, kind of washes him up into the outside fence. Heavy contact there for him into the fence. And then him and Devin Black tied together, both washed down the racetrack. Hard contact into the inside wall for Cameron Combs. He's just trying to keep himself out of it, and you're going to watch Combs end up going around right here. He's just trying to keep himself out of the carnage. He goes around, and I do believe maybe the 0-2 of Lancaster right here is going to get a piece of him there. So more damage there for Lancaster, more damage for Cameron Combs. We'll have to wait and see if that still gives him the lucky dog or if that will count him as part of that caution flag. I do believe that may call him a part of the yellow there. He may not be able to get the wave around, so he's going to need another couple cautions to try to get himself back into this one. We do see Chris Muise, though. Muise does come down pit road, so he's looking to maybe make his final pit stop of this race. So the Monster Energy 99 ride comes down pit side. We'll have to wait and see how this all plays out because there's still a lot of laps, still a lot of action left to be had here this evening.
When it's time to fix it, find it, or upgrade it, trust the experts. At M&M Auto Parts, we've got over 150,000 parts in stock and ready for delivery. And for the hands-on builders and bargain hunters, stop by Rupert's You Pull It, where we give you the freedom to pull the parts yourself and save big. Visit any one of our 3 locations in Virginia, or visit us online at mmauto.com to browse our grand inventory. With over 60 years of experience, when it comes to auto parts, we know how to pick them. Don't wait. Race on down to your nearest M&M Auto Parts location, or find us on the web and give us a shout. M&M Auto, family owned, quality parts.
Alrighty, 25 more laps left to go here in this race as we get ready to see that green flag fly here once again this evening. 25 laps left to go. Who's got what it takes here to put themselves up and into the Bristol Motor Speedway victory lane here this evening, as it is Bristol, baby. And for all these drivers, especially our playoff competitors, a win and you're into the round of 12 may be what it takes to advance yourself and to keep your championship dreams alive here this evening. If you're another one of these drivers just trying to pick up another win, maybe get some more bonus points into your back pocket, may be the difference maker. Is Caleb McKinney, another great restart, another great launch. He's looking to try to run away with it as Rob Tuisku there in second. We do see Al Reed in third, but here comes Tyler Humphrey. Maybe a little fresher tires than the rest of the drivers around him in the 9 ride, quickly racing his way back up into third. So for Tyler Humphrey back into that third position here, he's looking to try to track down this 6 of Tuisku, and our race leader Caleb McKinney here in a quick hurry as Tuisku getting a little squirrely right there, sees this 9 ride coming with a quick head of steam as you do see Casey Gross now up into position number 6. Grant Humphrey back there in that 7th spot trying to hold off Mike Killingback, but Killingback looks like he's going to make his way around him in a quick hurry. Now here comes Devin Black down to the inside as well. Here comes Johnny Thunders, Brandon Puffin, Parker, Chris Muise back here in the 12th position, trying to keep his playoff dreams alive here. Unfortunately, going to need a really solid finish here to try to get this 99 ride up and into the next round of these playoffs. Gary Wright, Anthony Garland there in 14th. Anthony with a tore-up race car here has unfortunately been tied up in a lot of issues here throughout this race. And for the 81 ride, just trying to keep himself alive, just trying to keep himself in this race, came in right above that cut line. But as of right now, it could get very tough for him in a quick hurry. So we'll have to wait and see how these playoffs are going to plan out and who's going to be able to make their way in. But here we go. Tyler Humphrey was able to track his way around, drop to Tuisku, and now will make the pass here on the 76 of Caleb McKinney. So for Tyler Humphrey, he is back out in front. Humphrey has the race lead once again, and now looking to run away with it. Now, the only thing he does not want to see is another caution flag. He wants to see the stay clean and green. No yellow flags to bring these drivers to his back bumper, to give no one else a shot to try to steal this win away. He just wants to run away with it as quickly as possible here this evening, as we do see Brandon Puffenbarger making his way down pit road. Puffenbarger looks like he may be down and out of this race. Corey Crowell back down pit road as well. That opens up the door for Cameron Combs to gain a couple more spots here on the racetrack, but it also may open up the door here for Josh Bromfield to gain a couple extra here as well. That may be detrimental here to Bromfield's chances of advancing into the round of 12 here this evening, or not being so many laps down here. I do believe he is about 20 laps down to our race leaders in for this 12 ride. He needs every single point he can get. I don't know if he's got enough time. He should have enough to be able to at least leapfrog potentially Corey Crowell, but I don't know if he'll have enough time to potentially leapfrog Brandon Puffenbarger. It will be tight here, but for Tyler Humphrey, he's looking to just drive this thing up and into victory lane here this evening. Potentially that little bit later of a pit stop may have worked out perfectly here for this Isabel's Impact. Landesco must love Poodles, number 9 ride as he sits out in front. He's got great tires and he continues to pull farther and farther away from Caleb McKinney and the rest of the field. As McKinney rolls there in second, Kurt Sponsler up and into third. Casey Gross there in fourth with Rob Tuisku rounding out our top 5. Devin Black now back into the 6th position with Al Reed there in 7th. Mike Killingbeck, who has needed a huge day to try to leapfrog a lot of drivers to advance his way into that round of 12, firstly came into this race with a must-win situation. Looks like it may fall just a little bit shy as Grant Humphrey there in 9th. Chris Muise rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. Muise was another driver, came in below that cut line. Needs a lot of points here. Needs to try to gain a ton of positions to even give himself a chance, a sniff at potentially trying to work his way into the round of 12 after a disastrous race last week. As out in front, though, Tyler Humphrey with a 3.4 second lead between himself and the 49 rider Kurt Sponsler, as Sponsler now works his way up and into position number 2 here. Kurt looks like he's got a pretty solid car here, especially on the long run. Has to work his way around some lap traffic. Now here comes the 76 of Caleb McKinney trying to work his way around him as well. You see Casey Gross right there, and now Devin Black and the 6th rider Rob Tuisku right into the battle. Now for Devin Black was last down pit road on lap number 173. So he's got some of the freshest tires potentially out there on the Speedway, and he's hoping to use them to his advantage here. Having our 3rd and 4th place drivers right in front of him. Devin Black now inside the top 5, looking for a couple more spots late in this race as Tyler Humphrey out in front has just set sail. 4.3 seconds down across the line. It is 5 laps left to go. 5 more laps left to settle this one. 5 more laps to see if Tyler Humphrey can pick up the checker flag here this evening and to see who advances into the next round of our playoffs. As Humphrey down and across the line. 4 laps left to go. Last thing he wants to see right now is a late race caution flag. He's on cruise control. He can give up a second a lap and still win this race, so he can back it down here quite a bit and just kind of be on cruise control to that checkered flag. Just cannot see that yellow, and I think that's what's driving him to keep his foot in the throttle, not hang back, knowing that every 10th of a second could be the difference maker between getting to that white flag and checkered flag or seeing a late race yellow flag be displayed here this evening. As he's opened up a 5-second lead now between himself and Kurt Sponsler. He continues to look to pull farther and farther away as the 9 ride rolling right there out in front. Nice and easy down through 3 and out of 4. We'll see the white flag fly. So for Tyler Humphrey, it is 1 more lap left to go here for the Isabel's Impact. Must love Poodles Landesco number 9 as Tyler Humphrey rounds corner 3 and out of 4 for the final time. It's Tyler Humphrey who picks up the checkered flag here this evening in the Outcast Racing League's Krafts and Stuff LLC 200 here from Bristol Motor Speedway. Tyler Humphrey gets it done and parks it up and in the Bristol Motor Speedway victory lane, man. What a run, what a race for the number 9 ride of Tyler Humphrey as he picks up the dub here this evening. The 49 will come home in second right behind him, and Devin Black will round out our top 3. Casey Gross and Caleb McKinney are top 5 out there on the speedway, but it's all Tyler Humphrey here this evening as he'll get ready to celebrate down on the front straightaway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for the number 9 ride of Tyler Humphrey as he picks up the win here in the Krafts and Stuff LLC. Here this evening from Bristol Motor Speedway, man, as he celebrates, he knows this is another big win, another huge advantage into his, playoff run, trying to potentially put himself in line to battle for this championship at Daytona in a few weeks from now. As the 9 ride gets it done here in this one, he'll do his, Polish victory lap here this evening, as Must Love Poodle says, excellent win, Tyler. Excellent win right there for Mr. Humphrey, and we did see his twin brother Grant Humphrey come home in the 7th position as well. Potentially enough there for Grant to work his way into the next round of the playoffs as well, as that's going to be interesting to see how the playoffs will shape out, where drivers will be, where things will kind of play out for them here late in this season, knowing that every point, every position is going to make that difference. We'll have to wait and see what the official point standings are, probably next week, because I'm assuming that the admin crew are going to have to go through a lot of these caution flags, potentially hand out penalties. Some of those penalties may include points, and those points could be potentially, for drivers that are playoff bound that may find themselves below the cut line after getting a point reduction for, issues out there on the racetrack. So we don't want to say too soon who's in and who's not in, but we do know that for the 9 rider Tyler Humphrey, with this win, he is locked in to our next round of the playoffs. So isn't the 2 rider Corey Crowell. Those are 2 of the 12 that will advance into that round of 12 here in this first round of these playoffs. As Adam Humphrey says, good job, Tyler. Cheering on Tyler here this evening as we'll get ready to pull in Tyler and the rest of our top 3 for their post-race interviews. Hey, Tyler, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
I do, yeah.
Tyler, man, what a run, what a race, man. Take us back through this one. Obviously, a lot of chaos, a lot of contact there. We saw you get tied up in a couple things early on. You got to play some different strategy, and it kind of works out in your favor here, is not only are you able to win stage number 2, but you're also able to throw on some tires there a little later than the rest of these guys, and all of a sudden you find yourself just steamrolling through the field, and late in this race you take the lead back away from Caleb McKinney, and then you set sail, run away with it, and parking yourself up here into victory lane this evening and the Krafts and Stuff LLC 200.
Yeah, I felt fast. I was like, I can't believe this car has this much speed in it. But after the first few laps, I got those tires warmed up and it would really sail. But yeah, early on in the race, Robert Tuisku and I had a little bit of contact, and I don't know. I mean, maybe it was a little bit my fault. I was just trying to wrap the bottom, and I think we came together. Hopefully that's water under the bridge. No hard feelings with him. I know that really sucked. I put me back for quite a while, lost some stage points in the first stage. But I mean, I don't know. Driving up to that field multiple times, it's stressful. I mean, I can't even describe how stressful that is. These guys are wrecking left and right. It's like just bobbing and weaving to get around them. So, but yeah, I mean, really great race. I don't know if I was one of the few that had something for Caleb, but it felt like after maybe 5 laps into a run, I was really able to just blow by him. So a whole lot of fun. I mean, I can't thank everybody enough for watching. Yeah, Krafts and Stuff is, I know Kurt's mom is super excited to see this race, and I'm sorry I beat your son. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's still a great run for him, though. Kurt Sponsler able to come home in position number 2 here this evening. But for yourself, you're able to find victory lane again on the season. And no better time than late in the season, knowing that obviously points are always tight. You never know if penalties or anything else where you may stack up here to the rest of the field. But you know now, being able to pick up this win here in Bristol, it locks you into that round of 12, keeps your playoff dreams alive, but it also earns you a few extra bonus points here this evening going into that round of 12 to maybe give yourself that extra little bit of an advantage to try to work yourself into that championship 8 in a few weeks.
Yeah, for sure. Kurt was super fast all day. I'm really impressed by the speed he had, and all my teammates as well. Yeah, it was a crazy day. Those bonus points are going to help out greatly as well into the playoffs. I was able to work with a coworker, and we're hopefully going to be able to make every race this playoffs. So maybe we'll go for a championship. We'll see. I'm won Daytona last year, so a championship would be really, really awesome, really nice to cap this crazy season off. Honestly, I never expected to have this much speed throughout the year.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's with even missing a few of our races here, but it'd be great to see you be able to make it into each and every one of these races. Only 3 left to go here in the season. How you feeling going into Kansas and Atlanta here for the next round to try to work yourself into the championship race?
Yeah, they could not be any more polar opposites. Kansas, very smooth surface. Not very abrasive in my opinion. A lot of lanes you can work with, and then you go to Atlanta, and that place is like a cheese grater, and it's gonna eat those tires. You're going to have to drive it completely different to how you're going to drive Kansas. So I definitely have Atlanta marked on my calendar as one I need to practice for a lot. It's going to need some time because those tires are not going to hold up very well. Kansas, it's going to be momentum based. I mean, I don't know what else I can really do other than just put myself in the right spots at the right time. Make sure that I'm not letting that front end wash up through the corner. It's going to be very important, very key to a successful day at Kansas and Atlanta. So, yeah, can't wait.
Absolutely. We can't wait to see what you guys got in store for us there at those, second round racetracks. But here tonight, you're able to find victory lane at Bristol Motor Speedway. Now, I do believe your mom was in the chat already, said, fun fact, that both you and Grant, your first time here at Bristol Motor Speedway was at 5 months old. So you guys have been here for a long time, man. It seems like it's almost in your bones, in your veins here for Bristol Motor Speedway. So it's got to feel like a home track win here for you.
Yeah, my grandparents are very big into going to a lot of races. My grandfather, Denny Hardy, he actually ran an IndyCar team, so they were very big in all the racing stuff. So I guess they had tickets or something to Bristol back when we were younger, and we were, hanging out. Maybe a little bit whiny due to the noise, but I'm sure taking in every moment back then for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Well, a heck of a run, a heck of a drive here for you. Once again, here in the Outcast Racing League. Tyler, who would you like to thank for another great run, another great performance here this evening?
Yeah, thank you to Krafts and stuff for sponsoring, putting on this race. Super awesome to see them back here again. I think they sponsored Texas last season in the playoffs, so it was super awesome to see them back here. All the league guys, all the admins, Anthony, Casey, Al, Joshua Bromfield. I mean, just all those guys for everything they do. All the drivers are coming out every week. I know this race it was a mess, but many of these guys stuck with it. Even I had a teammate that was out of this race and still stuck with it. Helped us other guys out. We got a really good result today for my Tampa Motorsports teammates. So. Muscle Up Hoodles, the Bar Distillery, Isabel's Impact is on the car once again. Second win with them. That's amazing. So, yeah, it's just an amazing day. Thank you. And thank you for the broadcast as well. I want to throw that in there.
Absolutely, brother. Always my pleasure, Tyler. As a heck of a run and a heck of a drive for you here this evening, man. Congrats on the win. We can't wait to see what you got in store for us next Sunday.
Thank you very much. You have a good one, Aaron.
Yes, he was well. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner here this evening. Our race winner, that number 9 ride of Tyler Humphreys. We'll get ready now to pull in our second place finisher, Mr. Kurt Sponsler. Hey, Kurt, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth to get a coffee.
Yes, sir.
Kurt, man, heck of a run, heck of a drive for you here this evening as you parked that 49 ride. Unfortunately, one spot shy of victory lane, but in a podium finish. And I do believe with a lot of good stage points, a fairly clean race for yourself, really not getting tore up or tied up in a lot of those caution flags. Getting some good stage points, should be locked into that round of 12 here this evening, man. Take us back through what's going to go through your mind here with a second place run this evening.
I'm just insanely ecstatic. To be honest, I went into this pretty much anticipating a lot of cautions and just getting tore up myself. I was practicing the track a couple days before and found out it had changed since it was last updated, and it worried me a little bit and felt like I had to pretty much change my drive strategy on the fly. But thankfully, I was able to mostly stay out of trouble and keep it clean. And I managed to find something that worked out for me that brought me to that second place position.
Yeah, obviously quite a bit of speed, not only for yourself, but a lot of the ESR rides. As we saw you guys up there inside the top five at one point in time, all four of you up there inside the top five, but being able to kind of come through here towards the end and kind of have the better run at the end to compare to your teammates, it's got to feel pretty good knowing that you're not only able to come home second here in this race, but you're able to kind of shine as the best ESR driver here this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty much before the playoffs started, me and Al, we talked a little bit, and he had told me at one point, he said, Kurt, it's yours. Go get it. And what he meant was, no matter what incidents or anything, he said, just go get it, go chase it. And they worked well with me. We communicated well, and it turns out a couple times I was faster than Al and Rob, and they just said, just go get it, take it, go get it. And they just let me go because I kept getting the run on them. So they just let me go, and it really worked out, I think, mostly for team points, I'd say, and just great points overall.
Yeah, absolutely. Great day for the points for you. Team points as well. And for all your teammates other than Cameron Combs, and I guess Tuisku had some issues there through the middle portion of this race as well. But, I mean, for you and Al, pretty clean days, pretty solid days, up inside the top 5, top 10 all evening long. And you're able to finish it off here in that beautiful Krafts and Stuff LLC machine here this evening, coming home in second place. I know you wanted to get that car, our sponsor, I believe it's your mom's business there into victory lane here this evening, but obviously coming home second here in this race, having a hell of a performance and a heck of a drive here in displaying that beautiful car off all evening long up inside the top 5 is going to feel pretty special.
Oh, yeah, it feels great. I know my mom's at home ecstatic right now that one of her cars made it up into the top 3, and obviously Johnny was the other one. If you don't know this already, he's actually my brother. We used to run ESR together, and now he's with Quantum. But we like to support Mom, and she likes Bristol, so she wants to sponsor Bristol, and we always run the car for her. But yeah, I know right now at home she's probably celebrating right now, and I can't wait to talk to her about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And what it would have meant to her and to yourself to be able to win this race, but being able to come home with a solid second place run, knowing that it probably locks you in now, points wise, into the next round of these playoffs. It's got to feel pretty dang good, knowing that you have 2 more races here to try to lock yourself in and try to gain as many points as well, and using this momentum to try to put yourself in position to battle for the championship here this season.
Absolutely. I'm super happy that I get to move on and hopefully get to take some more points to carry me on to the final race for Daytona. And I'd really like to see that because I haven't been able to, unfortunately, achieve the final race. But I think my chances are looking pretty good now.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking forward here, obviously, to the next round. 2 more races. How do you feel about going to Kansas and then Atlanta Motor Speedway here and tell our championship race? How you feel about those second round racetracks?
So Kansas, well, we'll see as the week goes on. I'm going to have to spend some time with the track a little bit more. Atlanta, I've driven a lot and I've improved on it a lot. So I think my chances are pretty good at Atlanta. I think I'll do pretty good there. Kansas, well, we'll have to find out. We'll see what I can pull off.
Yeah, absolutely. So the team is going to have to go to work here throughout the rest of this week and try to get some extra practice in. Make sure you guys are on your tip-top shape heading into the first race of our second round next Sunday. But Kurt, man, great run, great drive here as you park that 49 right up on the podium here with the second place finish. Who would you like to thank here this evening for another great run and great performance?
Absolutely. As always, I'd like to thank you for doing these broadcasts. You do a phenomenal job, and they look great. I love watching them back. Even when I'm not up in second place, they're still fun to watch. I love them. I'd like to thank, of course, my mom and Krafts and Stuff LLC for sponsoring the race and letting us have her on board on the 49 and 60 ride. I also really want to thank ESR. If it wasn't for them, I really wouldn't be able to drive as well as I have been driving. So I thank them very much for all their help and everything they've taught me. Outcast for putting this on, and any and all of our sponsors that join us along for the season.
Absolutely. Well, Kurt, heck of a run, heck of a drive here this evening, man. We can't wait to see you back in action next Sunday and hopefully right back up here into the broadcast booth.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, Aaron.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for the 49 right of Kurt Sponsler as Kurt comes home in position number 2. Is Sponsler Jr. there in that second spot. We'll get ready now to pull in our third place finisher, the number 7 ride, Devin Black. Hey, Devin, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth to get a copy.
Yes, sir.
Devin, man, another good run, another good performance for you here in this one as you're able to back it up with a third-place run here at Bristol after what was a pretty chaotic, pretty chaos-filled afternoon of racing action. Luckily enough, you're able to keep yourself at a majority of the big calamities here. We did see you get tied up in a few things like pretty much everybody here this evening, but here you are late in the race, able to find some good speed. You got some decent tires, and you work yourself all the way up here to a third-place run. Take us back through what's going through your mind.
Yeah, I'm happy to bring home a good performance for the team. Get Tampa some team points there, and I'm happy that Ty was able to bring home the gold for it. It was a good afternoon, good race overall. I mean, it was chaotic, but there was a lot of speed in the car. Definitely a lot of speed. I was able to hold up, top 5, top 10 through most of the afternoon, and I got a little loose there off the corner. It self-spun, and I ended up having to take a EOL there, so I put some tires on it and came back to the field and got another incident, and I had to go in and take a fast repair. From there, I was just one-track mind getting in the front, and I seen an opportunity come up in there with the 76 and the 77. I just took it and drove underneath, trying to stay off their door and keep it clean and drive off from there and secure the podium finish.
Absolutely. Well, you're able to make it stick and jump up here into the podium, man. Obviously, some big points here for you. Know that the playoffs are underway. Trying to advance yourself into that round of 12. How you feeling? Do you think you made it into that round of 12, or do you think the points are going to be tight here, or maybe through penalties?
I feel like I'm good. I feel like I should be good to go for the next week or next round. I'm planning on I want to lock into the championship 8 like I did last year on the rookie season. That would be the biggest thing. Just pretty much, if I can't bring home the individual championship, I would like to bring home the team championship for or secure it for the team, help them at all costs.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to win the team championship or trying to hopefully win the creme de la creme there with the regular season, just championship here for the drivers themselves. But get a couple more races to go before we head to Daytona. How are you feeling heading into Kansas and Atlanta?
Kansas is a good one. I have a lot of speed in Kansas. I've got a lot of experience talking with a lot of professional drivers. Got to talk with Rajah Caruth and a couple other people, and I'm gonna try and go in there and just take that and apply it and see what we got. And best thing is just trying to keep the car clean. Go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Keeping it clean, keeping it out of some of the chaos here. Hopefully a lot less chaos for the next 3 weeks than what we had here tonight at Bristol. Hopefully we got all the carnage and mayhem out of our system here in this one. But for yourself, Devin, a hell of a run, a hell of a performance as you parked that 7 ride up here in the 3rd position, man. Who would you like to thank for another great run and another great performance here this evening?
I'd like to thank Tampa for, obviously giving me the run with the team ride the season. I'd like to thank all the admins at Outcast for putting all this together and just being able to put up with this mess in the first place. And friends and family, just being there to support when they can.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Devin, heck of a run, heck of a show here this evening from Bristol Motor Speedway and the Krafts and Stuff LLC, man. And hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth, maybe a couple spots better in Victory Lane next Sunday from Kansas Speedway.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our 3rd place finisher, Devin Black, as Devin comes home in position number 3. Heck of a run, heck of a drive, heck of a performance there for that number 7 ride. Unfortunately, though, that will do it for us here in this one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. Everyone coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares, man. We appreciate each and every single one of you. Any of the new subscribers as well over there on YouTube. We appreciate each and every one of you guys, man. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends, tell your family, get them in here, get them in watching these amazing drivers do what they do on a weekly basis here, and become part of the Peacemaker family here today. As all these drivers putting on a heck of a show and a great performance for us. Unfortunately, that will do it for us here in this one. We will be back live, though, in about 2 hours from now as we go dirt track racing here on Peacemaker Gaming, as I do believe we head to... We double check here where we headed to here for the wheel-to-wheel Racing League. We are going to battle. I'm not sure where we're headed to, but we are racing tonight. We are in the dirt super late model, so should be a lot of fun. Should be some great racing action there in that one, and we can't wait to see you guys back here, hopefully in the grandstands, to cheer those drivers on and to watch some more amazing racing later this evening. But thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in here this evening. Huge shout out again to Krafts and Stuff LLC for sponsoring today's race, and a huge shout out to all of you amazing fans in the stands. We'll see you guys in here a little bit later on this evening. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen.
Radio check, check, 1, 2, radio check. Still. On the bound through the corner, lane up through the trial zone. Not sure why we did that. I don't know the plan. 88 was screaming everybody to get to the bottom. We should just run all out and wait till after the 4th pit. Get out of the gas, slow down. Somebody's got it right in front of me.
Here comes that number 15 of Cameron Combs. Combs are live with his current sponsor. Sponsor will pick up stage win. Mr. Garland and James Garland leading the way, showing these drivers how to get it done as the